This protection business is one of the fastest growing industries in the United States right now, or in the
In
world.
the world, man.
And the people that have access to that are not the majority of the humans living in the world. This is a very specific group of people that have the wealth and the ability to employ this type of thing. And again, this is the Silicon Valley part, or the Bay Area part. I train with people that are in the business, right, of protecting these people. And some of the most concentrated wealth in the entire world is right here in the Bay Area, and it's running around all the time, and they can afford this, right? They have these teams working for them. What I don't see, or what continually boggles my mind, is that while this is happening literally around them at the Whole Foods, right, or at the restaurant that they're eating at, and they're not aware of it, they're also not aware of all the reasons those people are there. And it's mind blowing to me that with all the things happening in the world, people haven't taken a bit of a step back and said, hey, how can I better prepare myself for this thing, whatever it is. So you mentioned awareness, right? And some of the things you can do. Let's talk about some of the other pieces of that awareness. So mindset you started with, right? Being aware and the little things that you might be able to do to kind of protect yourself. Then there is going to be that situation, and again, you're showing them quite frequently, where you're going to have to be physically prepared somehow. So what else can you do?
Yeah, real quick. I want to make sure I get this in real quick. So kind of on the mindset thing too. I mean, not the mindset, but on the soft skills, right? And you made some awesome points, like you don't, even if you carry a gun, like if you're having to use it, unless you're just getting it, if you're having to use it, you're kind of already like behind the power curve, man. You never
Yep.
want to be in that position. As professionals, we are doing everything we can not to ever be in that position, right? But then just as family man, as just good humans, we're always trying to never be in that position. So, I talked about kind of high level things that we do. But for the everyday person, or even professional protectors, I kind of break it down into three, like kind of three or four steps. This is like the trifecta for me of security. And at first it kind of might sound like a lot, but think of it as when you were first learning to drive a car and you got in the car and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do all this stuff. And you're like shifting and you're like, you have like all this conscious incompetence going on. But after a while, it became, we all know that kind of the hierarchy, but it became unconscious competence where you're just like sending a text message and blow drying your hair while you're driving down the street, like you shouldn't be, right? Like they have to tell you not to do that, So, I want to be able to, with everything that I do, I'm trying to, one, with those tactical protection reviews where I'm showing people traumatic, violent encounters in real life, and I'm breaking them down afterwards. I want to microdose people with trauma, because that's what their brain remembers. And that's what, will embed in their psychology, to where they'll literally be like, next time, hopefully my sister's sitting in her car sending a text message in a parking garage, nice hydro flask, by the way. That's what's up.
Don't leave on without it.
Got it, man.
It's my EDC.
Yeah. Weapon of opportunity. You do all kinds of things. But next time someone's daughter's sitting in a parking garage sending a text message before getting moving, she's gonna be like, you know what, I saw that video and like I need to get my car moving, because when cars aren't moving, they're coffins, right? So that's why I show those kind of explicit videos and then try to turn them into learning opportunities. But to break down kind of what every civilian can do, what every human should be doing, I think a lot of guys say situational awareness. I think that's a little bit too broad. So I break it down into some steps, man. Context, like where are you going right now? And what kind of risk level do you believe that place is going to bring to your life? Like what are the threats there? Think about it like constant, like, all right, I'm getting dressed for the day, or I'm getting ready to walk out of my office. Context, where am I? I'm going into a transitional space. Like 80% of attacks happen in transitional spaces where you're like in between one safe place, your office, and your car, or your car and your house, or in transit from, the East Coast to the West Coast. It's a macro and micro transitional space. You're vulnerable there because you don't recognize things, and that's where you're going to run into the wolf, right? So okay, I'm going to be in a transitional space. So context, I'm going to a party with a bunch of people I don't know. I'm going to a concert, and think about this, okay? And then the next thing is when you get there, tactical positioning. So if I'm walking from my office to my car, what can I do tactically to position myself where I have the most visual mastery of my environment? And maybe I have a plan. Like maybe you do put your keys in your knuckles. Maybe you do say, hey, Jeff that I work with, can you walk me to my car? Like I'm not physically potent. I'm 110 pounds and it doesn't matter how much I watch Wonder Woman, I still can't beat up most dudes. You know what I'm saying? So like you be realistic. Personal protection about the person, self-defense about the self. Like if you're less physically potent, you should focus on getting hardware and things that can help even the playing field. If you're older, focus on and understand when you may need to implement a force multiplier so you can even that playing field and survive and overcome and win and be with your family. No ego in that whatsoever.
Right.
Protection is about the person. Self-defense is about you. Figure it out for you. So context, tactical positioning. Where am I sitting in my environment? Visual mastery of my environment. And then you have to have a plan that goes with this. What am I going to be doing, with this situational awareness if I do see someone or see something happening? So context, tactical positioning, and then rolling risk assessment. Like, what's my risk? My behavior cross-referenced with where I'm at, what kind of risk am I at? And am I dealing with? And with risk, I'm assessing people around me. I'm looking at the baseline expected behavior around me. And then I'm looking for anomalies. Anomaly, someone who doesn't have an alibi for why he's there. I'm in the parking lot. Everyone's going to and from their car. Who's watching me in the parking lot? Okay. Like, why is that guy there? Is he like waiting for a ride? What's he doing? Why is he moving towards me? Proxemics, we're getting more into that tactical positioning. Where am I standing so I can watch him and do what I need to do? And then you got to have a plan, man, to execute if things do go south. And that's where the hard skills and things like that can come in.
Hopefully you never have to be there though, right?
And hopefully you never have to do it, man. If you can remember those things, you'll start seeing through the matrix, man. Context, tactical positioning, and rolling risk assessment, and then have a plan. That's really like kind of my approach to situational awareness.